Hi folks, right, back to Kent, our beautiful county of Kent. A couple of oast houses, one behind the barn. These are now mostly privately owned dwelling places, but I just go back to rustication for this one. We could make probably a bit more of this. Oh, okay, so I'll wet the paper all over. This is the £90 Saunders Waterford. It's a really good paper. I've noticed that, noticed a while ago, and which I've pointed out several times, is that when the paper's wetted and then dried, it raises a slight tooth, which enables a bit of dry brushing to go ahead. Although it's still smooth, it's not as smooth, but when it's dry it becomes quite porous again. So it does make it quite difficult to dry brush. I won't be buying it again, but I'll go back to the cold pressed thing. Right, so a bit of usual sienna, raw sienna, just a quick wash all over. I might put a pond in there. Alright, let's go back to my old blue and light red for the clouds. Nice I'll try that. A nice direction of travel with the clouds. I'll dry this off. Right, I'll dry that off, and then we'll go back and put a bit of background on it. Right, so a very simple sky done in seconds. I love painting skies with the hake. It's so simple when you've done thousands of them. I find that painting on dry and wet and painting all the big clouds is a bit laborious. It doesn't really fit in with my sort of impressionist way of doing skies. Right, I want to put in some trees. Well, I'll put in a background first, so let's just have get a bit wet, and then use a bit of sky colour. Right, okay, now I'm going to just flood in a bit of I've lost me small, hey, oh there it is, under my brushes. Just put it slightly darker. I might do the barn in black, like a creosote. Now watercolours always start okay, and then go downhill. Right, now we'll put in a bit of a nice wet brush, bit of green, bluey green. And that's had an iron ring eye. You must have been out shopping this morning. Spent a lot of time talking to Alan. But if not, I don't answer the phone when I'm videoing, mate, only because I can't pause and record, as you know. These camcorders, one day I'll have a camera that will do all this. I'll put a bit of detail in that. I'm going to use my flat brush when I find it. Got a lovely 3/4 flat. Do you think I could find it? Oh yeah. No, it's not it. It's an inch flat. It's one of the, oh here it is. Is it? Yeah, it's one of the graduate brushes. Now we'll assume that's that the oast houses have a brick built. And I'll put a bit darker. And we'll have a little bit of blue in the next one. Oops. Now I've got a little brush here. Well, I'm going to wet this. And we're going from light to dark. And we'll put a little bit of that to dark. Now we'll have a red roof on that barn, so burnt sienna. Leave a bit of a margin. Great oast house painter was Roland Hilder. Alright, now going with some Payne's Grey and a bit of sienna to get a dark, but a warm dark. Leave a bit of sparkle on that. Okay, that's dry now, so we can put a bit of grey there's a bit of red in there. It nearly works, going from light to dark gradually, but because of gravity it's moved down a little bit, but I'll leave that. We're going to put in some trees now. Now I'm going to use a different brush for the trees. I'm going to use my script brush, old trusty script brush, and we'll put in, I'm going to have autumn colours because it's autumn now, isn't it? Go away. Now I want some light on one side. Some light, sort of green. Bit of umber in there. Right. Try to keep the light on the left hand side. Okay, now I'm going to change the brush. I'm going to go onto a small number 8 sable. Because it's just a little bit too fussy along that along this line here. That I don't want to make it too fussy. Right, let's get us some nice greeny, mixing a bit of blue with burnt sienna and it's still damp, and yellow, burnt sienna and ultramarine. So I get reasonable shapes for the trees, and don't take them right down to the horizon because they stop short of that. We'll have a bit of a greeny stuff on the horizon there. More blue in this. Bit of distance over the hill. So we've got a nice bit of, well, I hope it's nice, bit of depth, bit of aerial perspective, a little bit of detail I think on the I'm going to put these cows in, but just the lightest of blue, just so they'll show. And a bit dark on one side. These are just cowls on the top that turn in the direction of the wind, so the wind comes in and dries the hops. We'll soften that a bit. And we'll put a little bit of, well, let's just be a bit careful with this a little bit. I don't really want too much of now on the top of the roofs you usually get a ridge tile. To put a little bit of detail just to show a few tiles. Right, back to the hake. We'll get a little bit of bushes across there, I think. A bit of nice green. I'm quite enjoying this. Alright, so this still shows, yeah, a bit more of that. Right, I'm going to put a bit of filigree in the trees. Turn my bit of toweling over. And I want to just put in a bit of light they're burnt umber now. I'll dry that off because I want to put some bushes around this pond here, or something around it. Too much water. bit of rough ground, just hinted, don't overdo this. Alright, now I've got to put a bit of reflection in at the top of the oast. Oast houses, as I'm sure you know, are kilns for drying hops, but they're not used now. It's all electric. See how easy it is to show water by just doing reflections there? Right, now the fun begins. I'm going to use my sable. Now the reflection would only be from about there and there, because if you measure from there to there, it only comes down to about there as a reflection. I'm only guessing that, but we've got a bit of sienna. Now you've got to get this bit of sienna. And we'll have a little bit in there. Okay, you wouldn't see anything of that roof because the top of it would end up down here into the land. But I'm just going to do a bit of filigree. Just these little tiny bits of detail. Okay, I'll put a signature on it, but we'll sign it. Right, let's have a bird. Right, that's it. I'm going to put it in a mount and we'll have a look at it. Quite a nice clean picture. Well, I hope you enjoy that, folks. Let's just wind it up a bit. Off to the cinema this afternoon. Maybe to change from looking at Netflix, we'll go see Downton Abbey. Thanks for looking at this one, guys. I'll see you tomorrow or Friday. See you soon. Bye bye.